What's up, guys? Welcome. Tonight we're joined by Nathan Hirsch of FreeeUp, and just a little intro on FreeeUp. I've been using FreeeUp for well over a year. Tonight we're joined by Nathan Hirsch of FreeeUp, and man, I hate when that happens. We're streaming live on Facebook now, so welcome to everybody over there as well. And we've been using FreeeUp for over a year for all kinds of projects. I mean, I don't even know how many hours we build with these guys, but it's really an awesome service. And it was so horrible. I hated outsourcing. I really hated it so much because when I would go to hire somebody, even for a short-term job, I put an ad out and I get hundreds of responses no matter where I went to, whether you're using online jobs or Elance or whatever they're called now. And, it was just a nightmare having to deal with all those. And half the time they didn't even read your ads. If you were in the right category, they just sent you an application. It was obvious they didn't even care what the job was. So, FreeeUp's really changed all that. They have vetted, hired the workers themselves, and whatever job I need, like a minute later, literally Nathan is introducing me to somebody that can fill it. So he runs an amazing service, and he's going to talk to us tonight about outsourcing, whatever kind of project, short-term or long-term that you need. So welcome, Nathan.
Yeah, Shawn, thanks so much for having me. Let's see.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about FreeeUp?
Sure. So I've been in your guys' shoes. I've hired hundreds of remote workers. I've posted God knows how many jobs on Upwork and freelancer.com, and just gotten overwhelmed with the amount of applicants and the amount of time it takes to go through them one by one, to interview them, test them. If you make a good hire, great. But if they quit, you're right back where you started. And we all know what happens when you make a bad hire. It wastes a lot of your time and money. So I always wanted there to be a better way. And after I'd been hiring for 5, 6, 7 years, I had finally come up with a good system of hiring both U.S. and non-U.S. workers. So what I wanted to do was implement this system and create a marketplace where we vet workers before allowing them into the marketplace, unlike Upwork, where anyone can create an account and apply to jobs. And then we take 1% of the people that apply, let the best of the best in, and we make them available to you, the client, first come, first serve. It's free to sign up. There's no monthly fee. You can keep us in your back pocket whenever you need something. Make a quick request. We fill out the usually a lot faster. From you're good to go with the worker that we do. And if for whatever reason there's issues, we're hands-on to make sure you have a good experience. And if they quit, we cover all replacement costs.
That's awesome, and we've had I don't think I've ever actually had anybody quit. Usually we just kind of move on from the project. I do a lot of short-term projects. I've used your workers for a lot of long-term projects. I'm sure quite a few of the people are in our valet service. We use FreeeUp for the billing. You offer billing services. So if you have your own service, I think you can use FreeeUp for doing that. It's what we're doing. The most important part is that we can outsource, all those little jobs. So, if I was going to use one of the other, services, I would have to hire somebody and then train them to do what I want. And with FreeeUp, it just doesn't work that way. Usually it's not worth the trouble, if I just want somebody to work, a couple hours a week, or, just have somebody on standby for when I might need help. So I think most of the people here are Amazon sellers. So why don't you talk a little bit about the kind of services that you use for Amazon sellers? I know we've used things for creating listings, as well as responding to negative feedback and all that kind of stuff. So what all do you kind of have people ready to go for for Amazon sellers.
Sure. I'm trying to post a link in the chat, but it's not working. That's weird.
You can switch it to, oh no, I didn't even see it, but you hit all panelists and attendees and everyone can see it then.
All panelists and it'll work?
Yeah, you click the little arrow down next to all panelists and then you can switch it so everyone can see it.
Got it.
I've seen it, but everybody, okay.
There we go. Cool. So yeah, I posted a blog post we made about 39 tasks to outsource your Amazon business, or to tasks that you can outsource for your Amazon business. Starting at the top, you've got the PPC, the SEO, the optimizing listings, the very high-end stuff. At the bottom, you've got smaller things like customer service or maybe operational stuff. You mentioned billing, having that day-to-day bookkeeper, having a graphic designer, especially if you're doing something like merch. We have photography, where you can send your products to a photographer, get some affordable professional photos and list them. We've got everything from product researchers both in the US. We have sourcers that are in China that can help you negotiate with suppliers. And then we've got mid-level people that can help you with stuff like FBA and reimbursements. I would even put bookkeeping on more of that mid-level advanced skill set. You've got people that can maybe follow your systems, follow your processes. If you have a certain way, or you've taken some class, or you've learned how to do list in some kind of way, you can hire a worker that has a basic experience that you can show them how you want it done, and onboard them and show them your system, your process. So there really is so much you can do with your Amazon business with outsourcing. I own a dropshipping Amazon business, which adds a lot more manual work, and that's everything from filling orders, a lot more customer service emails, obviously listing products, doing price adjustments. I use Eagle for pricing. There's tons of pricing softwares out there. It's all run by my virtual assistant. So the possibilities are really endless.
Yeah, definitely. Just sharing that out to everybody. Yeah, so that's something that, I don't think people, okay, Carl's seen it, that, people don't think about, researching, if you're doing wholesale or you want to do wholesale, I mean, it's a hard job, and we have, I already have employees that do that, so it's not really something I ever think about. But, if you want to research new, new sites, new companies to deal with, then, FreeeUp obviously has people that can do that already, and it's a very tedious job you probably don't want to do yourself. If you're going to trade shows and getting lists, or even if you register, you can get a list of all the attendees, or I should say exhibitors, not attendees, that you can contact every one of those, and you don't want to be contacting hundreds or thousands of different distributors or manufacturers on your own. When you could have a VA who just goes through the list of sites, finds their contact information, sends it out, because you only get a small percentage that's coming back and responding to you anyway. So it's much better to have a low price worker. I say it all the time that you don't want to waste your time doing minimum wage jobs. Things like packing boxes, and, contacting new distributors or finding new sources. Those are jobs you should be outsourcing, and FreeeUp does that starting at, I think you start at $5 to $50 an hour is all your workers. So it can be a lot more economical, and you can do basically what we do, and that's grow our business, and whatever value your time at, anything below that you should be outsourcing. So, things like packing boxes, you should be sending to a prep center, using software like Tactical Arbitrage. That's why we have, a service that we've partnered with Nathan to, supply those kind of workers to you that will, that will do the sourcing, because, you really shouldn't be doing those kind of jobs yourself. You should be expanding your business, doing the purchasing, finding new ways to grow your business. And if you're doing that, you're just really wasting your time and money.
Definitely. James had a question. So do you have people trained for technical arbitrage and for this wholesale formula? So we don't train anyone. We have workers that have gone through that stuff before. It's almost like recruiting software. We obviously don't recruit for every software in the world. That'd be impossible. The most popular ones, there's usually people, but there's a lot of other factors like price, US, non-US, whether they're available or not, when you submit the worker request. If you sign up today and submit a worker request, or you sign up in a month and submit a worker request, there are different people available. So we don't just have an endless supply of technical arbitrage trained workers, but there are a lot in the network, and we obviously recruit for popular softwares. If someone has sourcing experience, a lot of time they use technical arbitrage or a similar program.
Right. So yeah, if you want, okay. So James, if you need help with tactical arbitrage, I'd suggest you just set up a call with me. We already have with our TA Valet service that we're using. We actually use Nathan for all the billing, so you would need an account either way. And you can set up a free call with me, and we can go over your goals and see if what we do would work out best for you. And we have a long training process for my employees, so you're probably going to get the best out of that scenario. But anybody can set up a free call with me. You can also set up a free call with Nathan. You don't have to be signed up with them or have hired anybody yet. I believe you still do. You still have a calendar that people can talk to you with, or
right at the top of the site. If you go to freeup.com with 3 E's, right at the top, my calendar is right there. You can book a time to meet with me, free of charge. Like you said, you don't have to be a client. You don't have to hire any workers. Even if you're 6 months away from hiring, I'd love to talk to you about your needs and how I can help. And of course, answer any questions about FreeeUp or about your business.
Awesome. And we do the same thing. So if you want to talk anything about Amazon, of course, tactical arbitrage, or having somebody run your tactical arbitrage account for you, we do all that kind of stuff, and you can set up a free call with me as well. Of course, when you do it, just select one of the free calls, and you can just go to I'll put it in the chat, but it's ShawnMayo.youcanbook.me.
Catherine has a question. Does it make sense to outsource for niche products such as organic? I mean, I can tell you, you have to make the decisions for your business, but I have plenty of clients that sell organic products and sell in a lot of different categories that all use outsource work. A lot of it depends on your system, your process. Hold on, I can never get this to post. Let's see. Your system, your process, and what you're trying to do. I mean, if you have your process in place, you can hire a lower level worker to come in and follow your systems, your process. If you don't, then we offer expert level and mid-level workers, people who specialize or people who are top-notch consultants who can go through your business top to bottom. They can audit it. They'll give you brutally honest feedback about what you can expect, what your goals should be, and then come up with a game plan that's right for you. And you can work with them to tweak. And once you approve the game plan, they'll get started in execution. And you can even partner them up where they'll work with a lower level or mid-level person, or even your entire team together, where they'll come up with systems and processes for you and have lower people implement them. We also have freelancers, if you choose, that already have their own team of people that you can hire them with your approval. They'll use their team, and you can have one set of people running your Amazon business, giving you a lot of manpower in one place with very little effort on your part. So no matter where your business is and what you're trying to do and what products you're selling, there is a solution when it comes to hiring remote workers.
Definitely. On that note, I've hired probably your best workers, I would assume, that have, decades of experience with what I've needed, in the $50 an hour range. I've hired tons of them, in the $5 range and everywhere in between. So they definitely have whatever level of experience that you're going to need. But organics are awesome. We sell a ton of organic stuff, and if you're interested, in a specific, a specific niche like organic or whatever it is, there's tons of information. You just kind of got to, as Nathan said, if you know how to do it already, it's you can hire a pretty low level worker. But really you're just training somebody to, replicate what you're already doing. But unlike the other places to hire you don't have to do the hiring. You tell Nathan or Nathan's team, what kind of worker you want, and they've already vetted them. They already know if they can do the job. Not somebody says, "Oh yeah, I can do it," and then it turns out 2 weeks later you've been paying them basically for nothing. You already know what you're getting, and Nathan and his team has already vetted them to be sure that they can do. Now, obviously, most of them aren't going to be able to use tactical arbitrage or whatever Amazon tools you're using, but a lot of them have experience, using Amazon. They can, open cases or pull reports or, do all that kind of stuff, as well as, probably they'll have experience contacting wholesalers in your niche. So, at that point you can, you can point them in the right direction, or, you can train somebody from scratch if you want somebody who has no experience doing it.
Yeah, and that's always the cheapest way to go, is get someone with no experience and trade them up, but it's more of a time commitment up front. Don't forget, any onboarding time, any training, any whatever is covered. So if they do quit, we cover the replacement costs. But the other side of that is, before you do anything, sit down and figure out what your perfect worker looks like. That, I can't stress how important that is. If you don't know what you want, I promise you, we don't know what you want. So we have a very simple worker request. It has stuff like US or non-US, what skill set, what hourly rate, how many hours a week. Do you need someone for once a month? Is it a one-time project? What does your perfect worker look like? And is it that long-term relationship, or are you just going to use them here and there? So really figure that out before submitting a worker request, because the more specific you are, the easier it is to get you exactly what you want. And even the best workers, they might be a fit to 9 out of 10 clients, and they're not a fit for that 1 out of 10. But the more information we have, the easier it is to get you exactly what you want. We're all about valuing your time, and the more information we have, the better.
Right. So James wanted to know what, when you say low-level worker, do you mean overseas, and what's your typical hourly rate?
Yeah, low-level workers are almost always overseas. We're probably going to change that to entry-level worker or basic level. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anyone. Essentially, they're people that have experience, but they're very much doers. So they're there to follow your system, your process. They don't have their own way of doing it. Whereas if you hire an expert level, you're hiring them for their expertise, their 5, 10, 15 years of experience to come in and show you and do it their way and execute a game plan using their past history and experience. The lower level workers are $5 to $10 an hour ish, depending on the task. If you do stuff like Chinese sourcing, it might be a little bit more for a lower level worker for that. It really depends. It also depends what's available. We are a marketplace. The workers set their own rates. We're there to really facilitate. Obviously, FreeeUp charges a fee, but the workers set their own rates, so we can't go to someone and be like, hey, work for half that or whatever it is. We can always make them an offer of whether they accept or not. So $5 to $10 an hour, and the lower level people are almost all non-US. We're about 40% Philippines, 40% US, and 20% scattered around the world.
Awesome. So your minimum is $5 though. Is that correct?
Occasionally we'll run promotions where it'll be less. Occasionally a worker will want less. The issue with hiring someone for less than $5 an hour is it leads to more turnover. I mean, if you're paying someone $2, $3 an hour, the second they get offered $5 an hour, they're out the door. So we've found that $5 an hour is a good range. It also lets us get people that have that experience. I mean, yeah, we could go out right now and get someone for $1, $2, or $3 an hour, but they're not going to have 2 years of Amazon experience, most likely. And every once in a while, we find someone that does. But again, then you risk that turnover side of it. So we want clients that invest their own time, their own energy, their own money into a worker to not get frustrated and not have to replace them.
Definitely. And, once I hired my first person on FreeeUp, I've never gone anywhere else because, as I've said, it's just so much easier, and you're paying FreeeUp, I would say a bit of a premium to not have to deal with that. They're dealing with all the problems. You're paying them. You don't have to argue about about billing, about rates, about spending countless hours posting ads and replying to, literally hundreds of of responses. I mean, I'm not kidding there. You'll get hundreds of responses to every job posting you make on the other place, and half of them don't even read what you say. They're just applying. So FreeeUp already has those people that are vetted, and they know what you're looking for. So if they say they can use Excel, or if you're looking for somebody with Excel experience, they're going to make sure that they have that experience before they even see a single client.
FreeeUp charges 15% with the $2 minimum. That was a question that was just asked.
Right, but you don't, and again, you don't have to worry about any of that, unless you want to be a worker. So, they're going to quote you how you tell them what you want. You fill out the form, and they're going to give you, they're going to tell you how much, the workers are. Sometimes they even introduce you to several workers. You can do a short interview with them if you want, and see if you guys mesh up, and then they'll you choose who you want. They tell you up front how much each worker is. If it's a varying price sometimes, and that's it. And then you click one link to hire them, in an email that you automatically get, and that's it. They're hired, and then you can go your way. You don't, and the best part, what I would always tell people outsourcing before, FreeeUp came into our business, don't hire anybody that you're afraid to fire. So be prepared to fire them before you ever hire them. But with FreeeUp, if you don't want somebody to work anymore, you tell them, I'm done with them, and you don't have to worry about like the hiring process, the firing process. It's more like you're hiring FreeeUp to fulfill your needs and not worrying about hiring individual workers. It's just made the process so much more simple. I mean, there was a point, before I met Nathan that I just did not want to hire any more remote workers at all, because the trouble was not worth it. And I'm sure a lot of you are in that same spot where you just don't want to deal with it, or you think it's too hard, or too complicated, and you just don't want to do it. And maybe you had those experiences in the past, but dealing with FreeeUp is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to sign up. There's no monthly fee. You put in a request. We introduce you. Hey, this is Bob. He's $10 an hour or whatever it is. You pay $10 an hour, nothing else. If you hire him, you can meet with him before you even put down a payment information. You can interview him, make sure you like him before you click hire. And then once you click hire, you're good to go. And it's really that simple. Yeah, I mean, I've had all those bad experiences. And a lot of the times it comes down to communication. And that's what I take a lot of pride in, is how much communication is on the marketplace. If you guys could see the Skype group chats we have, I mean, the communication is at the highest possible level. I mean, if you've hired people in the Philippines before, there's an occasional power outage. It's part of the pro and con of hiring them. But they tell us if their house is on fire, you get a message. You never end up chasing your worker across the Philippines. If you can't get a hold of your worker, they don't respond within 24 business hours, which they're required to at the very latest, and most respond much earlier. We're the ones that'll contact them. We have their emergency contact number. We have who referred them. We'll go after them for you to get a hold of them. And that rarely happens anyway, but you have that protection. You're never just going to be sitting there with your thumbs twirling, waiting for your project to get done. And worst case scenario, we'll hire someone else. We'll cover the cost to get that project done for you, so you still hit your deadline. So it's kind of like insurance as well. You're protected.
Yeah, one thing that's definitely happened. I have a worker, one of the best workers I've ever had, literally, in another country at least, in case Valerie's listening to this. And she has a very sick daughter, and she goes to the hospital all the time. And I don't think FreeeUp has just got to the point not to contact me anymore, but every time, she would be out, or occasionally her power would go out, they would contact me asking if I needed to, she's very skilled and very trained. So, it's not really a job where they could send somebody else just to, fill in for a few hours, or usually she may be out for a day, which isn't a big deal in the job. But, it's great that, FreeeUp is so on top of it, and every time they contact FreeeUp, FreeeUp contacts me to see, if there's something that they can do to fill in for those jobs. So, all that stuff is going on. If you have, tasks that you would probably be doing in your Amazon business that, could be replicated, know that that backup plan is there and is available. So Lionel wanted to know, does all the billing go through FreeeUp, or is it is it a split between FreeeUp and the VA? Okay, so why don't you go ahead and answer that, Nathan?
Sure. So all the billing goes through FreeeUp. It's part of our client agreement. You can't discuss rates or anything that has to do with money directly with the workers. You can talk to them in terms of hours. We did open up fixed price. I know Sean's been waiting for that. The workers have the option to do that at their discretion. The billing is all through FreeeUp. So our billing periods are Wednesday to Tuesday. We charge you every Thursday. You can log into your account at any time, see what hours they're billing, what you're spending. Wednesday is really your day to review everything, and we auto charge you on Thursday. If you use ACH, which is a U.S. bank account, you get a 1.1% discount on all your invoices, or you can put a credit card, or if you're international, you don't want to do either of those, you can do a retainer. So all the billing is through us.
Yeah, it makes it super simple. They charge you one fee. It don't matter if you have 10 or 1 worker. You get billed once a week. And you have plenty of time to, if you have any charges to dispute or anything like that, you have plenty of time to take care of that. You don't have to argue with, I've had problems with the workers, and if you have it in writing, if it's a message or a text message, or if you're on Skype or Facebook, which is what I always use, then FreeeUp is going to stand behind whatever it is that you do. So if you say, that you have a 3-hour limit, and you let them know you have a 3-hour limit, and they work 5 or 6 hours, they don't get paid for that. There's no fighting with them and, begging, some giant, outsourcing company, to get your money back, and all you have as proof is a text message. But you can contact Nathan all the time, or, there's always somebody. This is an even better part, is that there's always somebody to contact. It doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and Nathan's sleeping. He has a team that there is always somebody online to deal with problems, whether it's a problem on your side or it's a problem on the worker side. There is always somebody working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can deal with any issues that come up. Whether you need, a new worker in the morning, or or if they work 10 hours and they were supposed to work 2, then all those problems can be resolved. Emergencies, obviously, not there's a billing problem, you don't need to get it resolved at 2 o'clock in the morning, but there's always somebody there that can deal with your problems, and there's somebody in charge like Nathan that's always there to to talk to. If you're using Upwork or Online Jobs or any of those places, then it's a big company, and you're going to contact customer support, and somebody who probably doesn't understand what you're even talking about is responding to you. But if you have an issue, you can contact Nathan, which I do a lot, and it immediately gets resolved. So there's a lot of those issues that I found to be big issues with outsourcing, especially if you're doing it a lot, that the problems have been completely destroyed by using FreeeUp.
Yeah, so everything in writing, we preach that to the workers. They sign an agreement saying they're going to get everything in writing. If you don't approve it in writing, you're not responsible within reason. So if you say, hey, or the worker says, hey, it's going to take 10 hours, you say, I approve in writing. If they bill you 12, you're not responsible. We do encourage you to go to the workers directly to resolve issues. The workers care about your business. They care about making you happy. They care about staying in the FreeeUp network. So 99% of the time, if you go directly to the worker and you're brutally honest with them, remember, it's a business-to-business relationship, they're going to fix it and resolve it. And if they don't, like Sean says, me and my team have your back. So we're there to make sure that you're happy. We're really not interested in overbilling you $10 here and $20 there. We're more interested in getting you workers that you actually like, that actually help you grow your business, and working with you guys long term.
Awesome. So Yeah, I actually had an issue like that recently. It was somebody I hired the first day through FreeeUp, and they asked how long I wanted them to work, and I said, they were just starting, so I wanted to see how they would do. So I said, I only want to work, a couple hours a day, and he said okay, and then I find out that he billed me for like 6 or 7 hours for the first day, and I said, I told you I only wanted you to work 2 hours, and he resolved it himself. I didn't even have to contact FreeeUp, which obviously they understand their rules, and I sent him a screen. I said, I told you 2 hours right here, and he said, okay, I'll adjust the time, and that was the end of it. So it's for me, it's always been a big issue with the time usage with other companies and other services, because while you're using those other services, I feel like all my workers is a team from FreeeUp. I don't look at it like, oh, I went to FreeeUp and I found this guy that works for me. FreeeUp, it works for me, because if that guy quits working, FreeeUp's going to find me a replacement. If he's not doing a good job, FreeeUp is either going to talk to him and get them, straightened out or back in line, or find me somebody. I'm not going to have to pay to train them again. I don't have to worry about anything with FreeeUp. I don't have to worry about, paying separate people. I don't have to worry about making sure they're working. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because FreeeUp is my worker. FreeeUp is my team that gets everything done for me now. When I was using all those other ones, Elance and Upwork or any of those, it was a place I went to post an ad, and then the worker, even if they were billing me, it was nearly impossible to get anything resolved there. I'd rather pay somebody an extra $20 than spend 3 hours fighting with them, trying to contact with them. It was just a nightmare, and my time is so, valuable now. I work every minute I can to get as much as I can out of my day, because so many people, are counting on me for their businesses and their own livelihoods. That I don't have time to deal with that. Paying somebody 30 extra bucks is not worth the time I'm going to lose fighting it. My time is worth more than that. That's why I hire people, is to get my time back. And all of that gets resolved with FreeeUp. So I'd like to tackle this next one. And Drea said, if you have a good outsourced worker and want to keep them, do you offer them extra benefits, or how do you go about moving them upline? So I'm sure that Nathan has some things, but I've had these issues. We've given people raises through FreeeUp. So if you want to give somebody more, if they're making $6 an hour, you want them to make $7 an hour. I'm sure that Nathan would be. I think we've done that. Definitely at Christmas last year. I gave bonuses to my best workers. I had some workers, I think last Christmas, I had just started with FreeeUp recently, so it wasn't like they were working the whole year, but I know some of them did, or at least one of them, was doing such a great job already that, that I did give them a bonus. So all of that's available. You just let Nathan or whoever there know what you want to do, and they're going to, they'll give people raises, they'll give bonuses, and they just bill it right to your account. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So that's all that's all available. I believe that's all you were asking about for extra benefits. So Nathan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's super easy. Anytime you want to give a raise or a bonus, you just email accounting@freeup.com and tell them how much, and obviously the worker's name, and they'll process it pretty quick within 24 hours. We are a marketplace for contractors. We don't have employees or anything like that, so there's really no extra benefits outside of a raise or bonus. We do have the option to buy workers out. We've had clients do that, especially US people. You can buy them out. You can make them an employee. You can pay them more, offer them whatever you want. That's always an option in the agreement. But outside of that, just the raises and the bonuses.
Awesome. Yeah. So, FreeeUp, it's a marketplace that takes all the hard work out of, it takes all the hard work out of, hiring and dealing with those workers. So, it's one team you're dealing with, which is FreeeUp, and then the fee they take covers taking care of everything else, billing, paying the workers, dealing with whatever issues, power outages, internet outages, if they're in another country. I know a lot of places are, plagued with those kind of issues. So, especially the Philippines, they apparently have routine, like scheduled power outages. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. They like turn your power off on the weekends there, and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, if you don't want to have to be dealing with that, then FreeeUp is really the best option, in my opinion.
Yeah, we vet people for that up front, and we hold people accountable to what they tell us in interviews. If they tell us in interviews, hey, we never get a power outage, or we only lose power once a month, or the storms don't hit us, and we give them the first client and all of a sudden they're running into power issues, we hold them accountable for everything that they told us. And we only let people in our network that either don't lose power often or have backup generators or backup internet or family members that they can go to so that the work doesn't get interrupted. Obviously, there's always going to be times here and times there. I lost internet yesterday from Hurricane Irma. So we're pretty reasonable, but at the same time, we understand it's your business and you need to get stuff done.
Hey, Michael, good to see you here. I know you're super busy. You don't usually get onto these, but Nathan is the owner. I think you have a partner. I'm not sure how that works, but Nathan is in charge of FreeeUp, and I think we've already covered how it's different from online jobs. They're basically going to take care of awesome. Michael quit his job, so he'll be able to attend a lot more of these. So FreeeUp is just, it's a lot better than online jobs in the way you're not going to have to post jobs and then wait for responses. You don't, online jobs, I know they charge some kind of monthly fee. You don't have to pay a monthly fee for the services, but FreeeUp basically is going to find you your trained workers if you just came in. They have pre-trained workers for most things that can, as far as Amazon or eBay, creating listings, all that tedious stuff you don't want to do on your own account. They probably have workers who already have experience in that, as well as, anything else you need for your business, Excel or, software, video, graphic design, Facebook ads, programming. I've hired people for every one of these type of jobs. I mean, a super high-end development team, somebody who used to be in charge of one of the departments at Amazon, people who are founders of big companies, creating ads, ClickFunnels, I mean, you name it. So they have a lot of high-end workers, they have entry-level workers, they have, entry-level, maybe entry-level type training or, very well trained. So they run the gamut. If you want to create a free account, you can just go to FreeeUp with 3 E's, .shawnmayo.com, and you can create a free account. I think Nathan gives you something for free for using my link, I guess. Free hour.
$1 off your first worker forever. Sorry.
What is it?
$1 off your first worker forever.
Okay, so $1 off the charge of your first worker, the hourly fee forever. So if the $5 worker, it'll be $4, or however that works out for your first worker.
It doesn't matter if you sign up without the link. If you email accounting@freeup.com and just tell them about the coupon, they'll still honor it and they'll still connect it to Shawn's. Or when you sign up, you can just put Shawn's name under how you heard about us.
Yep, and awesome. So any other questions before we wrap it up? Anything else you'd like to add, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, I encourage you to try it out. At least sign up, create an account. We also have a great referral program if you know other business owners and you want to save money on your billing or make money. If you know other coaches, other influencers, other agencies, you can spread the word and get free workers. And yeah, I mean, I built this out of need. I've been in your shoes. I've hired lots of people. So I'm really looking at it from the client side of what does a client like about all those other marketplaces and what do they hate, and really tailored FreeeUp to be more towards what people like and what can actually help people.
Awesome. And workers as well. So if you need any workers, or if you know any workers who, Excel experts or, Amazon experts or any of that stuff we've talked about tonight, I think you pay a referral fee for referring workers as well. So
definitely, it's all on the website.
Right. So if you're a worker yourself, or you want to make extra money, you can always apply for that. Michael, you can see the replay of the video as long as you register. You obviously registered because you're in here. So usually within 24 hours or so, we send out a replay and whatever links we've sent out. And if you just want to talk to me about FreeeUp as well, you can always set up a time. Just go to my calendar. Again, it's ShawnMayo.youcanbook.me, and you can set up a call with me if you want to talk about FreeeUp or my experience, or any of the workers. That's fine, or your Amazon business, whatever you want to talk about. We do free 15-minute calls, and Nathan does as well. When you go to FreeeUp, he has a link to his as well. Michelle asked if we refer people to you, how do we do it to receive the referral fee? Go to the link above, freeup.shawnmayo.com, and then once you create your account, there will be a link. Everybody has a link once they log in, right, for a referral. And I think it says referral or affiliate or something like that. And you'll get paid for every hour, just like we do. Obviously, it's a referral link, an affiliate link. And we've been an affiliate for them. If you've heard of FreeeUp, I think we were one of the first people in the Amazon space that talked about it. We've done several interviews, as well as Christopher Grant. Chris did an interview with Nathan. I think this is our second or third interview we've done with Nathan. So we've been working closely for a long time. It's not just, obviously, we don't just promote things to promote them. But, I actually just let go of my last worker that I hired off of Upwork that I'd had working for me for a couple years, and I kind of been holding off, but I just didn't need somebody to do that job anymore. So, it's an awesome service, and if you want to talk to me about it before you sign up, or if you want to talk to off the record, or if you want to talk to Nathan about the service, we'll definitely be there. FreeeUp is all about getting you, yes, Michael, FreeeUp can get you high-end VAs. They're saying it's kind of VAs from $5 to $50 an hour. I've had both. I have VAs that do development work for me at $50 an hour. It's actually a team. I pay one person for that team to develop products. I have, Facebook ads, ClickFunnels, all that kind of high-end stuff. We've hired them for, and are there any VAs that know legal skills that can file injunctions against other Amazon sellers? They don't offer legal, unfortunately, at this time.
I do have good lawyers, but they're not $5 to $50 an hour. I'm happy to refer you. I don't get a kickback. It's illegal for me to get a kickback. I can refer you just because I know them well. They're either clients of mine or they're actually my lawyer, and I'm happy to introduce you.
Yeah, so I know you want to sue some other Amazon sellers, probably rightfully so, but they don't do that. But if you want to promote your products, or create funnels for your products, create what else have we done as far as the high-end stuff? Development. He has an amazing developer that's created several things for us. One that does some amazing stuff with Facebook ads, and of course ClickFunnels that I mentioned. Those are all in the $50 range. They also have basic type workers that could work on your own Amazon account. get rid of negative reviews and, all that kind of stuff, run your reports that you need to run. So it runs a gamut, Excel work, data entry, finding, a good thing that we talked about earlier, Michael, is finding new products, contacting wholesalers, distributors, and manufacturers. So anything you need to help you run your business, FreeeUp is either going to have available and ready, and you don't have to go through that whole hiring process. You just you fill out a short form, let them know what you want, and they're gonna usually get somebody to you nearly immediately. If not, they'll go out and recruit somebody if they don't have any available.
With your permission, free of charge. And you're under no obligation to hire the people we present to you. If you do, great. If not, we'll add them to our network and offer them to other clients.
Yeah, so I've had to do that a couple times. I had some weird requests that they just didn't have anybody, kind of waiting in the wings for me. But they were, I don't know, a few hours, maybe a few days later, we were able to fill all those jobs. So
definitely days. We can't recruit in a few hours, unfortunately.
Well, okay, so probably a few days later. All right, so we're going to wrap it up. Any questions? You can always just go to FreeeUp, and as I said, you can set up your account. FreeeUp, it's freeeup.shawnmayo.com. We'll take you right into the creation page, or set up a call with Nathan. And we'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot, Nathan.
Thanks so much for having me. Have a good